guys. Doing another recording from home today, and I've got a gentleman who was on yesterday's episode, who we will be seeing shortly. So this is Praba Nair. Hi, Praba.
Hi, Jiggee.
So, guys, a bit of why we are doing this together today is both of us are going to just talk pretty freely, because what he does and what he knows best is also fitness. We'll start off with fitness, and then we'll probably move on to some other things that we both hold dear to heart with regards to just life in general. So one of the things that Prabha is going to share with us today, at least, is given the fact that we're all cooped up at home and going crazy with just trying to just figure out what to do with life, is he will cover a bit of nutrition from training and also some mental health angles so that we help with our immune system. This is something that Prabha has been doing for how long have you been doing it now? Fitness as a career?
As a career, 20 years.
20 years.
Yep. I'm not
Okay.
young, huh?
Yes, we
Also,
can
I
see
look
the
it.
we can balls. We can see the stubble. It's all white. So me and Prabha go way back to about 15 years now. He was my trainer, but don't ask me what went wrong. He sucks, obviously. See them guns? Yeah. Okay, but that's not the point. So tell us, Prabha, what's your take on how everybody can approach this angle?
Okay. Being from a fitness background, what I can see is lacking in the current situation is people's awareness about their own immune system.
Mm,
Now, because now people are scrambling for external remedies, as
yep,
in hand sanitizer, face mask, and so forth. What
yep,
people fail to realize is we already have a perfect system inbuilt in ourselves, which is our immune system.
yep,
Now, how do we strengthen our immune system?
yep.
There are three basic ways lah. So one is nutrition, the other one is training, we're exercising, and the other one, which I find is most important, is mental health. I think that one
Yep.
will go into it later.
Yep.
When it comes to nutrition, from a nutrition standpoint, what has happened over the years is we've gone down the road of consuming non-natural food products,
Mm.
uh, instant noodles, everything is on fast, fast food,
Yep.
fast this,
Yep.
fast that, everything is instant. So what that does to the body is it's most of it is not natural.
Okay.
So there's a lot of preservatives, there's lots of pesticides, there's lots of other things that's not suitable for human consumption.
Yep.
So what that does is it does more harm to the body,
Mm.
and rather than fixing it, like for example, now people are also speaking about supplements. People are going crazy about boosting their so-called boosting their immune system by taking vitamin C.
Right.
Now, vitamin C in nature, you can get it from various types of fruits. Most of the time, people think of oranges. There's another
Yep.
berry that has more content of vitamin C than oranges.
Yep.
You guys can Google it lah. I
Yep.
won't go into detail much on
Yep.
this call.
Yep.
So, what nature provides is nature actually provides pure vitamin C, which is what is useful in terms of boosting one's immune system.
Okay.
That is actual vitamin C. Now, what we get in vitamin C from the pharmacy or supplement shop is actually ascorbic acid, which is a component of vitamin C. That's not actual vitamin C. So, why this happens is because the component of vitamin C is cheaper to produce rather than a whole. Okay, what I mean by that is if you take a analog clock or wristwatch for that matter. Okay. Now that whole clock represents vitamin C. Okay. Whereas ascorbic acid can be represented by one of the motors that's in there. So what this big pharma and supplement producers have done is they've taken a portion of it and put it as vitamin C, which actually it's not, because for vitamin C to be effective in the human body, it needs to be in it has to have other components in place as well. bioflavonoids, antioxidants, and so forth. There's so many enzymes. There's so
Mm.
many things that needs to go into the vitamin C to capsulate it to be able for the human body to be able to digest and consume it and derive the most out of it, not just
Right.
one component. So that always points to natural food.
Yep.
Okay, so I would. I mean, now it's quite hard to go out and shop for natural food and food and all that. So, and this is a long-term game. So I'm talking about. So what people can do once this whole lockdown thing is over is move towards more natural food. And most of the natural food is readily available in markets and grocery shops and so forth. And try to avoid meat products because meat products contain lots of ingredients and substances inside of it that's not suitable for human consumption. We can speak at length in another segment now. So
Mm.
the takeaway from that is nutrition wise consume wholesome natural products as much as possible and in a balanced portion.
Yep.
Okay. Now, when it comes to training, so
Yep.
most of us now are locked in our homes. So what can we
Correct.
can do at home is there's plenty of stuff that we can do with just body weight or just using a stool. There's plenty of YouTube tips and videos out there that one can check and follow. I've also
Okay.
shared my video on my YouTube channel,
Yep.
which they can check and see whichever that they can try on their own.
Question, Prabha, how many videos have you done and prepared yet so that I can also share this when we post this?
For the training, only one so far.
And this is for home base for the lockdown kind of home based training, is it?
Correct.
Body weights and so it's equivalent to a version of HIIT lah, if I can say.
It's a circuit training.
Okay, with using just body weight and
In the video, I'm using mostly barbell and dumbbell weighted things, but I've also given them body weight options.
yeah, because not everybody has dumbbells and whatnot at home, especially now lah.
Correct.
They can lift the brass bag lah, if they want.
Correct. So I've seen some creative videos where these guys buy the 5 liter mineral water bottles,
Mm.
fill that up. So every liter is 1 kilo.
And I saw what your client posted, lifting grocery bags strung up.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That was a champion move lah.
Yeah. And that video where the guy puts the oil on the floor and then runs on the oil as a treadmill, that's coming back viral.
Who did
Yeah.
that? Oh,
There was one guy who posted a video. Yeah. He
okay.
I don't know whether soap or oil on the floor. He held on to the counter and started running in the spot. So there you go. Humans at their best.
So, I mean, would you be able to also come up with a video for those who don't have weights? Are you planning?
Yes, this evening I'll be doing it.
Okay. And how about? I mean, I guess here you can share it, but even post this, I can share it in a form of a what kind of groceries can they be buying that it's going to be less more organic and less uh, more natural, so to speak. That's the best way to put
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Okay. One of the easiest ways to go about this is when you go to a traditional supermarket, in the food section, normally it's on the ground floor, you
Yep.
shop on the outside of the area. So what you'll notice is on the outside is where they keep the fresh food,
Right.
the vegetables, the fruits. That's where you want to shop. The
Mm,
more center you go in, it's more processed. If you
mm,
take note, now that you brought it up, if you take note where all the chips, popcorns, the kacang, and all the Maggie and all that, they go in the center aisle. So
mm,
shop outside. So processed foods are usually on the inside. So you can go for fresh food that will naturally rot within a day or two. So those are the kind of food that you want to consume. The food
mm.
that doesn't rot naturally has lots of preservatives in it. So that's a dead giveaway that you shouldn't be consuming it. If you throw it on the floor, this kind of processed food, even insects and ants don't go near it because they know that's not food. And we humans happily whack it,
Yeah. Well, then I guess canned food and all. Canned food is the main thing,
Uh,
lah. But yeah,
but for now, given the current circumstances, that's what people are consuming.
yeah, because we got to stock up for a few days, and instead of going, we can't be doing daily runs for grocery, lah.
Correct. Correct. So, with this whole lockdown, it gives us an opportunity to actually re-examine our day-to-day living.
Mm, mm.
So it's not. That's why I'm more aware of actually how we live day to day, and we don't live that consciously, these days.
True. We live for the moment, but we're not lucky. Not we're not living for the future, right?
Yes, even living in the moment has to be done in conscious manner, because
Yeah.
how you live in the moment dictates what's going to come out in the future.
Yeah. So,
So,
I mean, I guess we've talked about training, and instead of you explaining it here, what I can do is I will link it with your first video and the second one that's coming up soon.
correct.
Nutrition is you've also covered nutrition per se. So I think the key thing here is to try our best to switch to natural produce versus uh, you know what's
That
the
processed food.
processed food. There we go. From a
Yeah.
mental health state of mind for everybody cooped up at home, what's your take on that?
Okay. Uh, I'm totally fine for the past few days. Nothing has changed actually. The only
Mm,
thing that has changed is for me is I'm not as active, as in I don't go out as much, but I do move around I only live in a room. I do move around my room. I go outside to the rooftop. There's still physical activity in that sense. But the key idea here is to have a routine already set in place. That means just because we are in a lockdown doesn't mean we sleep in until 12 o'clock.
dude, I was up working and doing some work till 3, 4. Okay.
Yeah. So, uh, doesn't mean we sleep in and then we walk around in our underpants, and this routine has to go on. Like for me, I still get up early. I still do
Mm,
my yoga, sun salutations, my meditation, journaling, my cold shower. Everything is still in a routine thing. So, and that keeps me going for on a daily basis. And this actually gives me a chance to, you see, most people say they don't have time. But what happens is when they have time, they
mm,
don't know what to do with it.
mm.
You see, now what I do is I take the opportunity to actually work on other projects like my online training, my ebook, uh, that's self-reflection, personal development, reading. So
Okay.
there's actually a lot of things that one can be done can be done, with this given time.
Okay.
So that helps with the mental state as well. And then I hear people, especially those in long-term relationships, husband wife, girlfriend boyfriend, they're like, how the hell am I going to live with this person for the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, because this is actually a serious issue because whenever have we been cooped up at home, 24 hours, besides the grocery run, literally even and for those of us like for me in the condo, all condo facilities are closed down. Uh, there's nothing you can do, you know. And for people in relationships, this is where you either make it or you break it, you know.
Exactly.
It's crazy, you
Exactly.
know. I mean, for those who have a bigger home, okay, like you can hide in different corners, lah, you know. But yeah, it's definitely not easy, you know.
Actually, that's a matter of perspective, because I live in a room with Lena, and our room is like, I think, 300 square foot. It's a bloody storeroom. But she does her thing, I do my thing. So for me, that's not an issue. In fact, I think this whole thing has brought us closer. I'm not saying it because she's sitting right in front here, but that's the truth.
Hi, Lina. Okay. I mean, no, but I guess, yeah. I mean, I think this, as I posted yesterday, for me, this has become a forced detox but it's actually something that I think we all need. As Mother Earth is healing, and as all of us are being forced to sit down quietly and just take stock of our lives, whether willingly or unwillingly. I think in reality, this is actually worked out in the favor of pretty much everyone, I would say. Of course, there are many of us who are affected by the physical lockdown because a lot of people who earn their living that way. But I think the government has been fair to some of these parties to still allow them to, like, I mean, people won't survive without our Grab drivers and food drivers and all those boys, right? Um, but yeah, I mean, I think from that standpoint, I think a lot of people are learning to embrace these 2 weeks, and there's talks of it extending, and God forbid that happens. But with more mudheads running around and going for all kind of crazy events, if they don't sit down quietly at home, duduk diam diam, duduk rumah, then this cannot be contained in time, you see. What else do you? I mean, I know you gave me some sharing points of things that are close to heart to you. You even mentioned social responsibilities per se, but I mean, what has been the learning curve, at least in 4 days of, is it? Yeah, this day four. It's called MCO. What is it? Movement
Control order or something.
Control Order. There we go. Although
Mm.
originally was restricted movement, but what has been your learning curve? I mean, given the fact that I think me and you have very similar lifestyles in the sense of we are out all the time. We only come back, at the end of the day, and we have fairly busy lives, which the nature of our job takes us out pretty much all day. How has that affected? How is that affecting you per se, lah? Like, I mean, I know you've mentioned that you're sticking to your routines, but is there moments in the day when it still gets to you, and how do you overcome that?
For me, there's not a moment where it gets to me. I just find ways to channel it. Now, you see,
Mm,
even at the beginning when they mentioned restrictive movement or something,
mm,
and now how they've changed it now to uh, what MCO
yeah,
movement,
control.
something like that. See, what that does is it changes our perspective here.
Yeah.
Okay, so like even just now you used the term we are forced to stay at home.
Mm,
If you just change the word forced to if we get to be at home now,
that's
it
true.
it changes the whole perspective and the way we feel about the situation.
Yeah.
So how we use words determines how we actually feel. Now, before a certain word can be said, there's a thought process that goes on here in the mind. So if we just examine how we are thinking at this point of time, it's
Yeah.
it reflects on what's going on right now.
Mm,
So, like for me, I believe the universe or God or whatever a person believes in, it only
mm,
responds to our predominant thoughts.
mm,
There's no discrimination here. If we keep worrying about our bills, our financial uh, misfortune, that is what
mm,
is going to show up mostly in our lives.
yeah.
So the other day, one of my friend posted. He said he would love to. He actually posted this and he took it down after I blasted him. He would
Mm.
love to feel how it feels to go through a recession and a depression in the economy.
Why would this person say something like that?
Okay, because he wants to experience it, experiential learning apparently. So I asked him a question. I said, why in the right frame, in a person with the right frame of mind would
Mm,
actually want this? And then he
mm.
deleted the whole post. He didn't even respond. Okay. And then today I get a WhatsApp from my other trainee, other client, saying that we are heading towards a recession. They are looking at least 1 million jobs being lost by end of this year.
Mm,
So the universe will respond to a collective thought. So now the collective thought of the human race is fear.
mm,
And you'll notice that the key players, the successful ones, the so-called elites,
mm,
what differentiates them from the regular people is here, the way they think about situation. They
mm.
make the most money in recession.
Yep.
How is that possible? They
Yeah.
they they're humans like us. It's just in the
Yep.
thought process that they become different.
Yep.
So Once the thought process becomes different, the way they feel becomes different, the actions becomes different, results becomes
Mm.
different. It's
Right.
it's all related. So same thing. The way I become successful in my physical transformation is
Yep.
my thoughts. It
Mm.
all starts here. So that is why that is what I'm going to be focusing on my future upcoming April course,
Mm.
because what people tend to fix right now is more like a band-aid approach to fixing things. They are
Yep.
fixing symptoms. So let's say a
Yep.
person is overweight. A person is overweight because the person eats constantly. Like I've been overweight multiple times. You know me, you know.
Yeah.
So upon if you just examine on the surface, why am I overweight? Because I overeat. Okay, so just stop overeating.
Yep.
So what am I doing? I'm fixing the symptom. I stop
Mm.
overeating, or I go and train at the gym. But upon deeper examination, then you get to the root cause. Why am I overeating?
Okay.
So is it boredom, or is it emotional eating? Okay, if it's emotional eating, what emotions are triggering it?
Okay.
So going down to the root cause will help one to actually fix this for long term. Like it took me
Right.
years and years to understand why am I going through this yo-yo cycle. Yes, I was successful. I'm always successful in terms of getting back to competition physique, and then going back becoming fat, obese, fat again, then going back to competition physique. So for me, with every transformation, it forced me to look at the deeper reason, and now I'm able to stay in shape for much longer periods of time because I'm finally over the years, and I'm a professional trainer. Over the years, then only I'm getting down to the root cause of the issue, and not
Right.
just symptoms.
Mm.
So I think many of us at this point of time is given a chance to re-examine how we operate our business,
Yep.
how we yearn for outside stimulus.
Yep.
You see, like even you said it just now. Being cooped up at home, it's a torture. Why is that a torture? Because we want outside stimulus.
Mm.
So this is a very very good time for self reflection. Okay, I feel cooped up. Okay, why am I feel cooped up? Because I'm stuck in this room. So why is being stuck in this room bothering me? You inspect why till you get to the bottom of the reason. Then there's no more why. It's like, this is the reason.
Yep.
Then it's easy to fix the problem.
Understand.
Hmm. It's like even you can ask questions to yourself. Why is
Yep.
it that you feel cooped up in the house?
Yep.
So
Interesting. Yeah. So I think your perspective. I mean, as much as I'm also reflecting on what you say, but I think it will actually, if people actually had a chance to hear what you just said, I think it will actually help a lot of us take stock of sitting at home and re-evaluate whether we are approaching it from a positive or a negative angle. We can choose to lament that we are cooped up at home, but in reality, and this is something that Silas actually said yesterday, us spending time at home is actually a luxury we don't have anymore. And
yep.
for the first time, we actually get to, whatever, wherever it is that we call home, and even with you being in the comfort of your room alone, you've found solace in just digging deeper and digging down, drilling down into your inner self. But for each and every one of us, instead of, like he was saying, the old uncle and aunties need to go to kopitiam and all that. But in reality, I think if we sit at home, there's this opportunity for self-reflection is actually probably now the most powerful time, because literally nobody can can get hold of us. Your boss can't get you, your clients can't get you. Even if they do, you can reply them. Life goes on, but you are doing it from not the confines of your home, but from the comforts of your home. So some people are using the word confinement instead of using it and approaching it as it is a place of comfort. Folks, we are back. Prabha went into cyberspace for a while.
You lah started editing mid conversation.
No, so as I was saying, I think what you said earlier will help a lot of us reflect on whether we are confined at home or whether we are comfortable at home. And I think this is the perfect time for people to take stock of this I guess take stock of life. And it's ironic that now is the year 2020, and for a lot of us this is the midpoint of our lives, of our careers. Some people are starting this, that, and the other. But I think this is the perfect time lah to actually reflect and realign ourselves, or as some people say, to realign our chakras.
Indeed, actually, I did more than half an hour worth of meditation, just realigning my chakras. it, it sounds corny to some extent, but it actually works,
Yeah. No, but
because
I think
because the
sorry.
ancients have practiced this for a reason,
Mm, mm,
and
yeah.
this also gets us to see how many of us actually wanted to like retire and do nothing. That was the
Yeah.
ultimate goal. Okay,
Yeah.
now you get to do nothing. How are we liking it?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think just to summarize it per se, I think you have covered about daily routine, sense of gratitude, even dressing up at home instead of lounging around in our lungis, but to wake up and have a sense of purpose. And I think that will allow us to actually push forward and be productive. Uh, it's like how yesterday I wrote about how after finishing that call, that was the start of my day. I ended up having a 12-hour run of extreme productiveness, which I've not had in a long time, you see. And that's just all being at home. So sometimes we need this, right? Why do we need to step out our front door in order to be productive or to have a sense of achievement on a day-to-day basis? We can do it from within the comforts of our home. And I
Yep.
think that was the whole purpose of this conversation, folks, because I think given what Prabha does for a living, he goes out, he trains the who's who of Kuala Lumpur. And by the way, on that note, I'll do some promo for him. So for you guys who are basket cases with busted knees, busted asses, busted backs, busted whatnots, Prabha is a guy who will know how to tailor a training regime for you based on the scale of your injury, if I may put it that way. Correct?
Yep. Correct.
Yeah, because he specializes or Prabha specializes with coaching or training people who are not in the fittest of, or at least their body has given out and given up in some ways. And so now he's on to a few other things. So I think for those of you who feel that you need to get advice, I think for now, he's gladly doing it online on his own channels and all of that. So I think that's something that any one of you out there, once you have a chance to watch this, I think you can feel free to reach out to him. I'm pretty sure he will quite happily help you realign your chakras, whether it's at home,
Yep.
upstairs, downstairs, and of course, fitness helps you in other areas as well, in the necessary areas of keeping up in shape. So, anything else you want to add on, Prabha? Because I'm sure you wanted to share a few things, and this is a platform that is now allowing us to just speak, uh, be it in our case, we are trying to speak a little bit of sense here and just speak from a perspective of taking stock of our lives and being gratitude and counting our blessings. But there's also others who are doing it just to ride the bandwagon of creating content. But I think so far with the journey that I've started in the last 1 year, the original angle of the content I was creating has taken a turn, and it seems that telling stories with people who have stories are helping people who hear those stories. And I think that has worked out well because that wasn't the original intention of what I started out. You know,
What was your original intention?
more entertainment, less inspirational.
Hmm.
But it's turned out that it's become a storytelling platform. As slow a start as it has been, but ironically, every story has resonated with some person, and even if it resonated with just that one person, then I think my time and effort wasn't in vain. You know,
Yep. Yep.
so and I believe that I think perseverance. I mean, that's one thing you know about me. The one thing that I only do is put my heart and soul into the work that I do instead of doing the same with my personal life and all of that. But I believe that as I push forward with creating this current content in this format, I think something will fall into place. And I think that's something that I've already shared with you. And you've also agreed to be a part of that. So that's something we'll talk about as soon as we get it online, lah, you know. And I think us doing this is part of the, it's almost like practice session, lah, as we gear up for what is it that we want to do, you know.
Yeah. Now, on that, I wanted to speak about our whole connectedness in this whole grand scheme of things, you know.
Mm.
So when times were good, people always, you know, me, myself, and I kind of approach.
Yep.
So this has forced us to, not force, has opened up our eyes and give us a new perspective on how we actually get sick together,
Yep.
and how we can actually, if we can get sick together, we can also heal together, you know.
Yep. Yep.
So by you sharing your content and interviewing various people and all that, what you have found is it from an entertainment purpose, it has become an inspirational purpose.
Yep.
So with me, I've been sharing videos on my IGTV for about two years plus. So my
Yep.
original intention with that was just to share.
Mm.
So eventually, what happened with me sharing is I have actually gotten into like a niche where I'm supporting men,
Yep.
because I'm very open with my life, as in my struggles, my ups and downs. You know, everybody talks about the ups. Everybody's posting on Instagram talking about, you know, how they're living a baller life. You know, having the fancy trips and life is good. But what you don't see most times in people's social platforms is how they're handling situation in the rough times.
Yep.
So I think especially we as men, we
Mm.
have been conditioned by society or by even our parents that, you know, boys shouldn't cry. Stop
Yeah.
behaving like a stop behaving like a girl. Why are you
Yeah.
crying? Are you a girl? Put on a skirt. You know, that kind of thing.
Mm. Mm.
So what I want to do is break the stereotype,
Mm.
because when you say, when you mention the word men, me
Yep.
as a bodybuilder, if you look at what image comes to mind when you say men is
Yep.
that kind of image, you know, a Greek
Yep.
god with men fully sculpted, you know, powerful looking and all that. But what goes on inside is not being addressed. So by sharing openly, if me as a bodybuilder can share it so openly, almost going into like tears, almost crying on my during my sharing sessions, it
Mm.
opens up more avenues for other guys to actually come out and share. They don't have to share it so publicly like how I do. Like I've
Mm.
shared uh, stories about my second divorce. I've been divorced twice. I've shared my second divorce, my relationship with my dad, and the day that he passed away, how I felt and what I went through.
Mm.
And just by sharing, me, one person sharing, I've gotten a bunch of direct messages and from guys from various backgrounds, you know,
Yep.
speaking
Yep.
about their speaking about their drug abuse, speaking
Yep.
about their relationship with their dad, with their
Yep.
sister, with their grandma. So guys are still not that open to come out and share, even with their best friends.
Yeah.
Just because I put myself out there, they feel connection, they feel a sense of brotherhood right there.
Mm.
So
Mm.
they are able to comfortably drop down the defense walls and open up to me and saying, brother, thanks for sharing this. Because you brought it up, now I'm open to share my drug abuse problem. The drug abuse began back then when my grandma passed away and so forth. It has taken a toll on me, my family, my finances. It it has done a lot of damage, and they really open up. And by opening themselves up, what happens to them is the healing process can start.
Mm.
By not addressing, by not opening up, we as guys, we
Mm.
are just suppressing all these pent up emotions, you know.
Yep.
So 2019 was a rough year for me. Yeah, I mean, you know me personally, you know what I went through, you saw
Yep.
me.
Yep.
So it was a rough year, but I turned it into a growth year,
Yep.
just by opening up and sharing, just
Yep.
by sharing with friends like you, with my other friends, with family members, and so forth. I'm able to initiate the healing process, because we cannot heal ourselves if we don't admit there is a problem.
Yep.
So that is what I'm trying to do with my platform, is to cater to men to open up, regardless of their sexual orientation. Because just by me sharing, I've gotten messages from even gay men saying that, oh, thanks for being so open about sexuality. I feel so ashamed of being a gay
Mm,
man.
mm,
My family looks down on my choices. You know, so I mean, who are we to judge? At the end of the day,
yep.
we make
So,
questionable
of
decisions
course,
and choices every day in our lives.
yeah, I think what you're doing there is powerful in its own way, and perhaps that's I see that's the segment that you should cover in what we are trying to do, lah. And you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
The next phase. I think it shouldn't just be fitness. I think you should cover this as well. Already of what you're doing, we just take it to a different platform.
Yep.
Because I think that's that's where we can reach and kind of empower and touch more lives, lah.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I didn't realize that you had to reach out all the way to that segment in the sense of how people were reaching out, and that's a lot like JJ. When I interviewed JJ, he was saying the same thing. Like when he bared his soul on his musings on his social media platforms, he even created a little gathering with like-minded by men. I mean, with men for the same issue of just opening up because men just don't open up. Boys just don't talk to each other and bring up the real issues that keep them awake at night. You see,
Yep.
so very similar. I guess he does something where he does a gathering or something once a month, and it moves around. Anyone can come, kind of a thing, once they hear of it, and it's just like guys getting together and just talking about life, lah, which I think is
Hmm.
quite powerful, lah. It's not aimless yabbering, but it's like deep diving into deep issues that bog us as men, lah, in general.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's
And
very
even
similar to what. Yeah,
yeah, even guys like even best friends have trouble talking about this.
uh,
You
I think
know.
it's. I mean, that's a known fact, and that's something we've talked about in the past as well. Uh,
Hmm.
and I think that's something that you have. I think you've naturally been. You're an unprofessional shrinkler.
Yeah. So it comes with the job, lah.
Correct, correct. So I think it's a natural progression for you, lah. To do what you're doing. Okay, cool. So I think we don't want to bore people to tears. I think this is a good precursor for people to understand what you do, how you are doing it today, how you want to help people from the standpoint of fitness, mental health, nutrition, and I think moving forward, anyone can reach out to you, anyone can approach you. Your existing platforms will continue to run, and by God's grace, something that we're working on will come to fruition as well, and then that way we can reach out and touch more lives, lah. So folks, this is Prabha. I'll share more on what he does and how you can reach him. So as long as you've got questions on fitness, on nutrition, I guess a mental state of mind, and just finding a very sense of calmness, he's your man. So there'll be more of this coming along. And given the fact that we're all staying at home, MCO, we're going to YMCA it is all the way for the next few days and few weeks. So yeah,
Yeah.
you should actually get up and do the YMCA dance, dude, with all your topi and whatnot.
Yeah, lah. That's what I need now.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, man.
All right, cheers. Okay,
Bye.
bye, guys. Bye.